We've got a beautiful old Victorian school here. We've got public access PCs, cafe this area here where we are now. Lunch for the unwaged is £2 and £3 if you're waged. We have something like 15, 20 regular volunteers who work in the cafe and on the allotment as well. Late morning when we've got lots of people coming in, it's really, really vibrant, really busy. Span was sort of originally set up because I think it was just almost the right time and the right place, where we had a group of centre managers who recognised the value of sort of joined up working.
The Span partnership in Leamington was supported by one of our regional managers, and she was brought in to provide independent facilitation and help the organisation stay on track to look at where they were going and how they were going to get there.
But one of the biggest stumbling blocks, I think, was people seeing the benefit, the long-term benefit for their time, and to get the buy-in from all the individual boards. So this is the main hall. We use this for a variety of activities. You can see on the walls we've got loads of photos. So every quarter we have a new gallery evening. On the right there we've got the allotments where some of our work was done. Now we've got some old advertising things here about sort of, reusing curtains to make French corsets. There is a lot of time needed to develop a group, to almost have rules of engagement, and when you have 6 very different organisations that bring a great deal of benefit, but they also can bring a great deal of baggage. So I don't think we realised how much hard work it would be. So we've been talking to Sir Jack about trying to possibly develop a new allotment programme where we do more partnership work with Mind.
How's it working with you lot? Well, yeah, I mean, we are collaborative, and hopefully a lot of the produce that we will grow we can bring down here for the cafe.
And it's a natural extension to our work with our own allotment that, if we can work with Mind, it makes sense to work together because we've both got allotments.
The Span partnership in Warwickshire came together for very good reasons, but it became clear after a while that they hadn't fully thought through what the partnership was all about, really.
Because we'd sort of almost ran before we could walk, we hadn't put things in place. We had a lot of advice and guidance from Bassac, who reined it in a little bit. So they're able to bring sort of a lot of information, sort of new ideas about how we should operate to make sure that we are still resident-led, that we're end-user-led and not funding-led.
Take care.
So this is our IT suite. We have 10 fully kitted PCs, which are all networks that we can get on the internet to do job search. Working as small individual partners, we've had new income coming in that we may not have got if we'd have been working alone. As we sort of develop and we say, well, actually, we're looking at some much bigger opportunities that wouldn't have been open to us if we'd have been, doing our own things. When we go to a funder, we are credible, so that we know what we're talking about, so that we know what our achievable outcomes can be. But it's still early days, we're sort of a year in. It's taken us this long to get it right. But we've had lots of people who are saying, you're going to become the gatekeepers for all local funding. The smaller and other local charities, I think, are quite worried because they're probably in the same position as us, but they don't like what we're doing because they feel that we are threatening their potential funding source. We recognise the need to build out our own capacity. 900 people per week generally use this organisation, and I have to be quite self-serving about providing the services for them. With funding pots dwindling and funding being harder to get, we have to position ourselves in the best place to enable us to be responsive. The group who are having the meeting just sort of over my shoulder there, they're from a local church. We've turned the building over to them on a Sunday night and they run a homeless shelter here. For us, again, it's cost us nothing to do but to work with the church to give them the space for free. It cost me nothing. And we're actually providing a real service.
I think one of the key lessons from the SPAN partnership is that you need to take the time both to develop personal relationships and therefore develop trust and understanding, but also to flesh out what the scope of a collaboration should be all about.
And you have to get the simple things right, like, you need to have an agreement between like the fund holder and the other partners. And if somebody's going to employ a member of staff, well, who's going to employ them? And what are their terms and conditions?
And you may well develop onto more things later, but you should probably keep things simple at the start of a partnership.
Be very clear what you're trying to get out of your partnership. Be very clear about the strengths of each partner and play to those strengths. 3 words: do your homework. Do your homework. Ask for advice.